Senior leadership of Hamas and Palestine Islamic Jihad met in the Qatari capital Doha on August 21st to discuss latest political and regional developments in the region. The militant groups in Gaza blamed Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for the failure of US-backed hostage ceasefire negotiations last week. They said that a ceasefire and the removal of the Israeli military from the Gaza Strip are necessary for a truce deal. Meanwhile, Netanyahu spoke to the US President Joe Biden over a phone call on Wednesday. The two leaders discussed a wide range of issues, including threats by Iran and Hezbollah. Welcome to the real world. We'll talk about this more in details, how this new power is being formed and how it is going to wreak havoc on Israel and the Zionist state, and most importantly on its leader Netanyahu. You do not want to go anywhere, but before I move on, just to remind you that most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. Now, of course, as I said, that Netanyahu spoke to Joe Biden, the genocide Joe, but he really did not care about that call. Why? Well, there is now this report that suggests he is more friendly to Don the Con than Joe, genocide Joe. Take a look at this one, what this lady is saying here. Listen carefully.
State Blinken is over. We know that Secretary of State Blinken is over there right now working with Netanyahu. The reporting is that former President Trump is on the phone with the Prime Minister of Israel, urging him not to cut a deal right now because it's believed that would help the Harris campaign. Yeah. We know that.
Okay, so basically Netanyahu, in other words, also known as Netanyahu, he spoke to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump also showed a lot of interest talking to him on the issue of Gaza. As I said in my other videos, guys, Netanyahu wants to go to a ceasefire under Donald Trump because Donald Trump can guarantee and promise him safety and security out of Israel if there is a situation where he is facing severe risk for his own life. Don the Con is the only one who can help him in that kind of situation. So Don the Con, we know he is a criminal. He's a felon in the States already, convicted felon in the States. The court already judged that, ruled that. Now, by talking to Netanyahu, Don the Con has also made another big mistake, and he could be actually dragged to this whole lawsuit against him. So according to the Newsweek, if Trump did make the call, which he did, he would potentially be breaking the law as the Logan Act enacted in 1799, which prohibits unauthorized private citizens from negotiating with foreign governments on behalf of the U.S. So again, he is violating a law, the Logan Act, and Don the Con could be facing more charges if in case he doesn't get elected, or if he does get elected after his presidency is over, which will be in the year 2028, he will be going to jail, could be potentially for this and for many other reasons. Now obviously there is nothing worse or nobody worse right now on the face of the earth than Netanyahu, who is committing this genocide, killing innocent babies every single day. There is 5 or 6 babies are being killed by this Netanyahu. And we see this kind of comment, this kind of rhetoric, harsh rhetoric coming from military expert, political analyst, historical personalities. They're all talking about this moron, this monster of Netanyahu. Take a listen what this person is saying, Norman Finkelstein.
Netanyahu is an obnoxious, narcissistic Jewish supremacist. Let me repeat that. An obnoxious, narcissistic Jewish supremacist. And in that respect, he's the perfect mirror of Israeli society. When they see Netanyahu, they see themselves, and that's why they vote for him.
This is Netanyahu is the face of evil right now, period. He's the face of evil. You don't have to look at Shaitan. You do not have to find anyone more, dangerous and more evil than him. You just have to look at his face. I can't stand his face. I don't look at him normally. But what I do look at is this kind of report. His own intelligence chief is resigning. I find this quite strange. Can you imagine this guy, after almost now how many months? Almost 1 year, he's resigning now? Well, this is what he said. We did not stand by our sacred oath. There is nothing sacred about Israel. I did everything to be loyal soldier to the IDF and of the state of Israel. On that Shabbat, we failed in our most important task, giving advance warning of war. The enormous responsibility for the failure of the intelligence department is mine to bear. I will carry it on my conscience to my dying day, and I hope to make amends with action and not words. I don't know why he's feeling so guilty in his heart. I know, actually. Okay, I take that back. I know. Why, you know? The Hannibal Directive. This guy, he killed his own people on that day. More than 700 Israelis got killed by the IDF, the Zionist military force. So now, of course, it is quite natural that he will have that guilt. He's not feeling guilty because, Palestinian got killed or Hamas came and attacked, Israeli people. Yeah, that is part of it, but the biggest part of it is that he himself killed his own people. So if he's, saying, I'm regretful, I need forgiveness and all that, is because he ordered those killing of his own people. This is the diaper army for you guys. This is the diaper army. Now, there is another development that I want to share with you. Hezbollah is now inviting soldiers from Iran, Iraq, Yemen against Israel. Time has come to liberate Palestinian people. We now know that Hezbollah is also waiting for Iran to join them in this war directly, at least to an extent, by doing that retaliatory action, the killing of Ismail Haniyeh. So of course they're waiting for Iran also to join the party. And if they march all of them together, I can promise you Israel will be over in just a matter of hours. If all of these people from Yemen, Iraq and Yemen, all of them just march, do a march without any weapon. If they just walk into Israel, Israel will be over. Because these people are huge in number, and Israel should be afraid of them. They should be, because these people are becoming absolutely desperate and impatient, I should say, what Israel is doing at the moment. Now, Israel, as we know, they want to use nuclear weapon. They are thinking about this because this is the last deterrence they have, and the only deterrence, quite frankly, because war is getting escalated. They're losing their military. They're losing weapons. So they're at a point, they're at a breaking point where they're also not seeing the Genocide Joe's administration is going to help them, because now the Slogan Act, Donald Trump is already contacting Israel, Netanyahu. So the Democratic Party, they're convinced that Netanyahu is not going to go to any ceasefire deal under Joe Biden's administration. So they're not going to get any weapon. A special treatment from the Democratic Party. Obviously, they're going to get their weapons, all that. But Israel right now is thinking that we are going to have to do all of this on our own for the time being until the election results will come out in the states. And then Donald Trump will come and give them mother of all bombs and all that. So they are thinking about nuclear weapon. This is what warning is coming from Douglas McGregor. Take a listen.
The biggest mistake the Israelis could make would be to use a nuclear weapon of any kind. And I've always feared that if they go into southern Lebanon, given the losses that they've sustained against Hamas and the condition of the current Israeli ground force, that they would be inclined to use a tactical nuclear weapon. If they do that, then all bets are off. They will.
All bets are off if they do that. And this is where they're heading to. They're absolutely losing everything. They have nuclear weapons, so they're going to have to drop one on Iran and, face the consequence, which is complete annihilation of the state of Israel. And this is what he said, Douglas McGregor, that once Israel decides to do that, and they do that, they follow through with their word and attack those nuclear sites, the Balfour Declaration will be over. that declaration will be over for Israel. There is not going to be any more declaration, nothing. You strike Iranian nuclear sites with your nuclear bombs, tactical nuclear weapon, you are done. You are done. Russia is going to help Iran. China is going to get involved. The whole world will be erupted. And I don't think under Joe Biden administration, Netanyahu or Netanyahu is going to get much help. But anyways, of course, at the end of the day, Netanyahu will be saved by America, United States of Israel. That's what we call them. But it will be a little bit hard for him than compared to if Trump was in power in the States. Thank you guys for joining this session. If you have any comments, leave a comment in the comment section below. Arif Khan, thank you guys. Brother Madeline Tan, thank you. Birds of the feather, that's so true. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.